So today we are going to discuss 57th knowledge sheet of intimate note to the sincere seeker, and that knowledge sheet name is surrender and responsibility. People think surrender and let the God take responsibility to do the things. Lot of people says it's my responsibility, I have to do the things. Devotee says, let the thy will be done, and just relax and easy to reach to the goal. So here we need to understand, let the thy will be done is itself surrender, and thy will to you is taking responsibility of whole world. So it is contrary to say the responsibility and surrender goes hand in hand, but it is. Yes, moment you start surrendering, you start taking responsibility. Irresponsible person cannot surrender. Why the person is irresponsible? Because of its laziness or fear or both. So irresponsible person cannot be surrendered in love. So responsibility and surrender goes hand in hand. Total responsibility means total surrender. For example, if you surrender to the knowledge, that means you have committed to spread this knowledge to the people. And it's your responsibility to see the knowledge got flourished in people. Responsibility is the dynamic expression of life in the present moment. If you get shaken, understand, surrender is the way to get relief. Surrender weighs off your weight of doorship and it gives you strength from within to move ahead. Limited responsibility makes you weak and tires you. Unlimited responsibility empowers you and brings joy. To set time-bound goals and give direction to your life force. So, understand, the surrendering and taking the responsibility without taking doorship is the skill of wise. Yes, so this is beautiful knowledge sheet today is surrender and responsibility. Often people think just surrender and let the God do everything. Yes, surrendering means just surrender to the God and I am not going to do anything. I am just going to sit and let the God do. This is not going to happen. This is not going to work. The rest of the lot of people thinks it is my responsibility and I am going to do. They come into the doorship. I have to do. I am going to do. It also doesn't work. And there is another category of people, those are devotees, who are saying, let the thy will be done. Thy will be done means the God will be done. God's desire will be done. God's will be done. Yes. So it makes them feel easy and relaxed to reach to their goal. So when you say it is my responsibility, you come into the space of doorship. Yes, the doorship, taking doorship itself creates pressures on your mind and it just tires you, weaks you, it drains your energy. Yes. But moment you give the doorship to the higher power or to God, that is surrender. And when you give the doorship to the God, automatically Thai will come. You say, let the happen the things by the God will. That means you have given doorship to the God. You are not going to do anything. You are not going to do anything. That doesn't mean you will just sit. No. Here is the skill. That skill is witnessing the things happening to you. You need to reach that space. Yes. For example, I am now giving this knowledge, talking about this knowledge. If I take the doorship, I have to give this knowledge to the people. It just brings a lot of pressure on my mind. But if I allow that energy and that divinity of the God to give the knowledge through me to all the people surrounding through this video, then my mind becomes cool and calm. And that pressure just pays off. This is what about dropping doorship. It's not about just giving this knowledge. It's about living all the life like that. Yes, eating food, watching TV, going with the friends, planning something, whatever you do on daily basis. So just giving that opportunity to the God and the divine to do the things through you, and you are just witnessing the things are happening. This makes you feel very, very light. And this skill is need to develop, and this skill get developed with the time. And this is the skill of the wise. And Gurudev is saying. The Gurudev here is saying the Thai will be get done itself is surrender. When you go into that space and give that doorship to the God and say, let the God do whatever wanted to do through me. I don't care of my desires. This is what about surrender. Yes. And the Thai will itself means you have to take responsibility of the whole world. Yes, the God will, where Gurudev has clearly said is that the God will is taking responsibility of the whole world. Why he is saying the taking responsibility of the whole world? Because total responsibility means total surrender. You are not thinking about yourself, you are just thinking about the others. What will I get? There are no desires. What can I do for the people? And that thing should happen through me. Let the God do through me. That is something best way to live the life. Don't you think so? Of course it is. Yes. So this is what about. Then Guruji says, irresponsible person cannot surrender. Why is it irresponsible? Because there is a fear and there is a laziness, or both. The irresponsible person cannot be surrendered in the love. When there is a laziness, when there is a fear of something, then we cannot give that doorship to the higher power. If you are lazy, if there is a dullness, and if there is a fear of something, losing something, there insecurity, fear of anything, it is not going to happen. Yes. So this is very deep knowledge sheet where your Guruji is saying how to do the surrender, and how ultimately how it takes you towards the responsibility of the whole world. And this is what about Gurudev is doing. If you just observe, he has taken the responsibility of the whole world. So why he has taken the responsibility of the whole world? Yes, because he has already surrendered to the divine. He is already surrendered to the highest power, isn't it? He is the highest power, that is what. But he is just setting an example to all of us to understand the things, why every person should think out of the box and not just to take the responsibility of their family and themselves. They think about the whole world, and it empowers them, and it gives a lot of joy. If you just think of taking responsibility of the smaller responsibility, it will tires you, isn't it? It will make you weak. But the moment you start thinking about the whole world of taking responsibility, it empowers you, it gives you a lot of energy and joy. Don't you think so? So Gurudev is saying is that set small goals and give direction to your life. Giving direction to your life force present within you is very important. All people having that energy, that subtle life force present within, but to increase it and giving direction is about surrendering and taking the responsibility. The moment you start taking the responsibility bigger and bigger, automatically your life force get directed in the right directions. Yes, and that surrender happens with the sadhana. Okay, dropping that doorship and just going into that space and witnessing as a third person the things are happening through you. It's required a lot of sadhana, seva and satsang and the grace of his, of course. And with that, you will reach into that consciousness where you observe that you are not the door is itself is the God or someone else, isn't it? And that is what about surrender. It will happen, but at least you should become the devotee first. The devote your life to the highest. Start doing something on this path. Start doing the sadhana, seva, satsang. You will reach in that consciousness. Then the surrender will happen. And the moment it will happen, then automatically you will start taking the responsibility. So he has given example here. He is saying the total surrender means total. It brings total responsibility. A total responsibility itself is total surrender. So he has given an example. Here is saying if you have surrendered to the knowledge, that means you have committed to spread the knowledge. And it's your responsibility to see that knowledge is flourished or not. Yes. So when we surrender to something, and surrender means the dropping doorship and just saying that let the knowledge get established inside me. Let the knowledge get blossom inside me, isn't it? By the God's will. Then automatically you take the responsibility to spread this knowledge to all the people around. Or you started moment you spreading this knowledge, you have taken that responsibility. Itself also will take you into the space of the surrender. The surrender start happening through you. Yes, moment you start thinking about all the people, it make difference. This is the point here. If you start thinking about yourself only, it something get closed inside you. But moment you start thinking about the whole world and the people around you, something expands within you. And where the surrender happens, that's the point. Yes. So here Gurudev is saying is that responsibility is your dynamic expression of the life in the present moment. That is a responsibility. Yes. So life itself is, when you express it dynamically, dynamism comes when you take the responsibility, isn't it? Empowerment comes when you take the responsibility, that energy, that enthusiasm, that joy, that power comes when you take the responsibility. So this is what about responsibility. It is dynamic expression of the life in the present moment. Then Gurudev is saying when you get shaken and when you feel there is weight, yes, by taking the responsibility, always remember the surrender. Surrender will take you the weight of the ownership that you have taken. When you get shaken and when you get, there is a fear is there, and when you become weak, understand you have taken the ownership there. I have to do, I want to do, I have to prove, isn't it? I am going to do that. You have taken the doorship. You are into the space of the ego. Taken doorship itself is the space of ego. And then Gurudev is saying the surrender will help you there. So remember, always surrender. And this is wise people do. Wise people take the responsibility, at the same times they don't take any doorship. Yes. And then the golden lines comes where Gurudev is saying limited responsibility tires you, makes you weak. Unlimited responsibility empowers you, and it gives you lots of joy. Set small goals and give direction to your life force. So this is very beautiful knowledge sheet, isn't it? Surrender, and responsibility. So you need to keep on introspecting yourself, how much you have surrendered to the God, or surrendering is happening through you, and you have taken responsibility, and the responsibility is also taking responsibility is also happening through you. You need to just observe that. I hope you got this knowledge. It is surrender and responsibility.